I should have made this months ago. In mid-October 2022, I visited Disney World in Orlando, Florida for the first time in my entire life. I spent about a week down there, and I'm about ready to share with you guys my opinions on absolutely everything that I did at the park. However, before I get into the rides, the food, the lodging, and park transportation, we had to get to Disney World. And that's no big task, considering we had to travel across pretty much half the country. Let's go back in time to October 7th, 2022.
What is up, YouTube? SilverThunder710 here, and as you can see, I'm here at the Corpus Christi International Airport. I'm not going to be here for long, though, because today I am flying to Disney World. Our journey will start here in Corpus, and then we will fly up to Houston, have a 2-hour layover, and then we will do another leg to Orlando, where we will take a shuttle bus to our hotel, and then another shuttle to Disney. So, I'm just waiting for our flight to get here. This is going to be fun.
To get to Disney World and back, we would have to take 2 flights each trip. We would have to fly out of Corpus Christi International Airport first, and then fly to Houston Hobby International Airport, technically a connecting flight, and then take the main flight from Houston to Orlando. This was the first of the 4 planes that I flew in. This is a Boeing 737-800. We also flew on 2 Boeing 737-700s, which are extremely similar. Now we can get into my opinions on the lodging, and yes, this is going to be a very opinionated video, but it's my own experience, guys. Anyways, what I am focused in on here is Disney's Old Key West Resort. I stayed in this resort, and it was an amazing little place. It was like a 2-bedroom little apartment with a fully fleshed out kitchen, an amazing shower with all the amenities. It was an incredible time there, and we also had a great view from the backyard. Naturally, the draw of any amusement park is the rides and experiences, and Disney is no different. Day by day, I'm going to go through all the rides that I queued up for, and I'm going to rank each and every single one of them out of 10. Let's see if your favorite ride was one that I went on. Let's see if your favorite ride was my favorite ride. In front of you is the pamphlet for Hollywood Studios, where I visited on days 1 and 4. I went on a few of the rides here and ate at 2 different restaurants in the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge area. So let's get into what I did at Hollywood Studios, where you can take part in your own showbiz adventure. First on our list is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. This is kind of a gentler thrill ride. It's got a really nice classic cartoon feel. But, however, it is a bit cheesy for older kids, and it does have one particular section where it kind of jerks you around a lot. And I really kind of like the 1930s classic cartoon theming. It fits with the feel of Hollywood Studios. I'm gonna give this a 6 out of 10, because personally, I don't think the ride was that good, but a lot of kids will probably really love this ride. Next up is Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, and this was a show instead of a dark ride or an amusement park type ride, and it was absolutely amazing. All the effects were timed really well. It actually got me really interested in behind the scenes stuff and Indiana Jones, and there are so many classic scenes reenacted. Anyone who's watched the Indiana Jones films will know what these scenes are. There's only really one con, and that's if it's really hot. Even though there are fans, there are sudden heat blasts during the event, but it's pretty much fine otherwise, and really perfect in every way. I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10. Next up is the First Time in Forever show. This is another show. This is a play recapping Frozen, and I know this is going to be a little bit cheesy for older boys, but for kids like me who actually kind of grew up with that movie, it's a humongous hit of nostalgia. And younger kids will love the presentation. Heck, even some older kids like myself that were in the auditorium at the Hyperion Theater during the presentation were just in awe at how beautiful it was. And the music is awesome as well. Acting is top-notch and humorous. This gives it a perfect 10 out of 10. It is worth it to go see this play at least once. Next up is Muppet Vision 3D. This was one I was not expecting to find at Disney World. The presentation and pre-show are hilarious. I'm not really that big a fan of the Muppets, but I was laughing my head off during the presentation. And the crossover is incredible. The only thing I could see happening here is some people getting a little bit dizzy from the 3D, but this was an amazing presentation. It is a solid 9 out of 10. It's, again, worth it to go see this at least once. Next up on the list is probably one some of you Hollywood Studios and Star Wars fans have been wanting to hear. It's Rise of the Resistance, and I'm just going to say right off the bat, this is a 10 out of 10 ride. The effects are amazing. It feels like you are there. And yeah, it is a little bit jerky and does have a huge drop, but hey, it adds into the immersiveness. The ride is just... I have no words. I've already said it before, but again, it is a 10 out of 10 ride. You have to try this at least once if you're able to when you go to Disney World. Next up is technically the companion to Rise of the Resistance. It is Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. And it's another highly immersive journey. You're going to steal from the First Order itself. And this one is all about teamwork. It's sort of a game. You have to see how much you can steal from the First Order. And you have 6 people in your cockpit, and you have to work together. Otherwise, nothing's going to get done. The ride's going to be jerky. This one is a 9 out of 10 ride just because of the challenge in keeping everything straight, keeping the ship running, and stealing from the bad guys. Now, this one is for the Cars and NASCAR fans. This is Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy. This is actually by the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. I'll get to that as technically an honorable mention. And it's the McQueen Academy show. It's really, really cool. There's like little quizzes before the show gets started about Cars and Cars 3. And there's so many character cameos as well. It's a really nice show, and so much nice humor is involved, and there's a lot of satisfaction involved at the end, but I'm not going to tell you guys why. Just, it's worth it to go in there and just see everything that goes on, because it is worth it. Alright, now, Tower of Terror. Technically, this is an honorable mention since I did queue up for the ride. However, the pre-show actually kind of psyched me out a little bit. I chickened out and did not go on the ride. I don't know why. It was just supposed to be some little cheesy Twilight Zone short, but yeah, I guess I was just tired and didn't really want to do anything else, so I'm sorry, you guys, but I'm not going to be able to rank this one. So you can see here the map has changed to Epcot, which was day 2 in our journey. And the first ride on the list is, oh boy, it's Into the Imagination with Figment. This one has apparently been hated a lot by some, really a lot of park goers. It is a nice slow ride, and it is kind of a nostalgia trip, but other than that, the ride just seems weird. All the animation is dated, so is even the videos. I'm pretty sure it was state-of-the-art back then, but it doesn't have its charm anymore. Really, the gift shop outside is the one saving grace that this ride has. And I'm sorry, you guys that actually like this ride, but I'm going to be giving this one a 3 out of 10. But believe me, things are about to pick up fast. The fastest in Disney World, because next up on our list is Test Track, presented by Chevrolet. This ride is my favorite in Disney World. Just absolutely awesome. You design your own Chevy car, then you put it to the test. It's not just like a little thrill ride. All the cars are the same, but your data with your car is constantly being recorded, and at the end, you'll see who currently on the ride designed the best car, and then you can even race them on a virtual road course, or really figure 8. And this ride, let me say this with emphasis, this ride goes a whopping 65 miles per hour. This is the fastest ride in all of Walt Disney World in Orlando. And for you guys that love racing like me, who love cars, who love thrills, this is a must-do. Following behind that is another great one, Soarin' Around the World. This is a roller coaster without excessive thrills. Technically, yes, it is a roller coaster. It does latch riders in on a roller coaster type cart, then it lifts you up in front of like the biggest freaking IMAX screen I've ever seen. And that's when it takes off. It really feels like you're flying above some of the most beautiful scenery in the world. You not only just see it and hear it, but in some cases, you'll actually smell it, like as if you were really there. And this ride was one that I almost panic attacked out of, but the rapid turnaround is, it was worth it to stay on the ride. And I'm going to give this one a solid 9 out of 10 because it's just that beautiful. And yeah, I know I've been doing a lot of 9 out of 10s and 10 out of 10s. That's just how good Disney World is. Next up is a slower ride. It is Living with the Land. And this one is a great one to just relax on. You get to go see how the food of the future is being developed. It's really long and calming, and people who are into biology and food like me, they'll love it. Heck, even little kids will really like it since it's a nice little dark ride, but then it goes into like beautiful greenhouses. And it's probably one of the longest rides in Disney World, but the thing is, it's still a good 8 out of 10 ride, because you can actually see the future happening in front of you. Next up is another slow ride that I didn't really kind of care for, like, at all, and that is the Seas with Nemo's and Friends. It's got just no charm to it, and again, even though I did kind of grow up with the Nemo franchise, it did not hit like it was supposed to in the feels. It didn't even really do anything. I almost fell asleep on the ride because it was late in the day, and I just did not care for it. I'm gonna have to give this one another 3 out of 10. But again, with the last one, things are gonna pick up big time, and that is Turtle Talk with Crush. And I know this is kind of another cheesy one, but this is a real live conversation between kids and Crush. It's amazing. It adds to all the immersion, and I know I'm stuttering, but I'm just trying to find words for how great that attraction is. If you have kids that want to go see it, because let me tell you, it is going to be absolutely worth it. 10 out of 10. And with that wraps up Epcot, and we are now moving on to Day 3, the Magic Kingdom, the original Disney World. And let me tell you, I did a ton of stuff here. Mainly, actually, during the night, which is something you would not expect, but Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party just so happened to be the night that I was there. So, we just joined in the fun. So, let's get on with the first ride, which is the Magic Carpet. It's a nice spinning ride. It's not the best view and it has a long wait, but this one is kind of a little bit refreshing because there was a camel head that will occasionally spit water onto the ride. And it was particularly hot in the morning I actually rode this, and I can say that it did kind of shock me, but it was worth it. And the ride's carpets tilt back and forth. I don't really know how to illustrate that here, but it's probably one of the better spinning rides that I've gone on. Keeping with that good theme, next up is the Jungle Cruise, based off of the actual movie, so I knew this was going to be fun. And the skippers are absolutely hilarious. And the view is beautiful. Really, the only downside is the bad animatronics, that they kind of stick out like a sore thumb on the ride. It just doesn't really feel right with the animatronics. And real live skippers, it just kind of soils what would be a near perfect ride. But otherwise, this is a great ride, and nice and calming and hilarious. Moving down on the list is the Enchanted Tiki Room. And this is one that, if you're not expecting anything, it's going to shock you how beautiful it is. At first, it might just seem like a little cheesy show with talking birds and whatnot. But the thing is, then it breaks into song. And the music, oh my god, the music! I'm just gonna drop a 9 out of 10. Say no more. Next up is the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. And this is another one where you might not expect much, but it's awesome. Contrary to the animatronics that I've dogged on at Epcot and at Jungle Cruise, animatronics here are spot on. And during the Halloween party, they even had some live actors on set. And that just added to the experience. And the drop and the dark theme at the beginning, it really sets the tone. It feels like you're entering the movie. And again, it feels like you're there, hearties. Bro, why did I even do that? Alright, moving on. Splash Mountain. This one is one that is actually kind of going away, as Splash Mountain will be rebranded from the Bears. I'm not sure what the story name actually is. I'll put it on screen right now so you guys know what story I'm talking about. They're going to be rebranding it to The Princess and the Frog, of all things. But the thing is that with the current rendition as of the making of this video, the thrills are awesome. It warms you up for a 50-foot drop. Man, it's going to be sad to see such a cold, hard Disney classic get remodeled. Alright, y'all know what will not be going away anytime soon. The wildest ride in the wilderness! That's right, it's Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. This railroad ride is one that rail fans like me will absolutely love. I'm not usually a big fan of roller coasters, but y'all are probably noticing some exceptions to this. And this one is about as perfect as it gets. It's just the right amount of wild and mild. It's got some really big drops, some really, really tight, fast turns, and at the same time, it's not really that fast, so little kiddos can ride it. It's one that you have to go on at least twice because it's just that good. However, we're going to have to drop the happy note because now we're getting into 3 rides that I did not care for at all. This one is the Haunted Mansion. It's not creepy the whole time and kind of a little bit garish, but I chickened out on this one, guys. I was on the ride, but I never opened my eyes, so I'm going to have to rate this a 3 out of 10 because at least it didn't scare the dickens out of me like the Tower of Terror's pre-show did. I mean, I can't really rate anything but the pre-show, and that's what I'm talking about with garish. It's trying to scare you, and it just kind of misses. But somehow it still got to me, so I guess this one is on me, guys. But like I said, don't expect a hiccup, because next is It's a Small World. This one, all it really has going for it is that it's relaxing if you don't mind everything else. This is essentially my least favorite ride I've gone on up to this point in the video, and I'm going to have to sadly give this one a 1 out of 10. There is absolutely nothing redeeming about this ride. The waits are atrocious, the art style is awful, the constantly repetitive music gets annoying, and the animatronics are creepy. Just saying, this ride, not worth it at all. Just pass right on by it. But we've got one more bad ride to go through, and that is Under the Sea. This one was just... It was kind of like the Siege with Nemo and Friends. It was just there. I didn't really care for it at all. And I get the little kids that love the movie will like this, but I just didn't at all. At least there's some legitimately good animatronics in there, but otherwise, I don't really see it as worth it to go in there. I'm gonna have to sadly give this one a 4 out of 10, but hey, at least it's a Small World 2. Alright, with that emotional slump over with, now let's get into some more good ones. The Barnstormer is up next. It's a great kiddie coaster. It's short and rough, like you're actually flying through the air a little bit on an airplane just for a few moments. And my main issue, though, is the length, or lack thereof. It's a very short roller coaster in comparison to some others that I've gone on. But otherwise, it's a great roller coaster. And next up is the Dumbo ride. This is another one of those spinning rides, and it's another amazing one. There are actually no cons I can find to it. The ride has two different carousels that go in opposite directions to kind of alleviate the wait times. And the view is actually really, really nice. And again, my only complaint is the lack of length to the ride. It is otherwise probably one of the better rides in Disney World. And if you want to talk about better rides at Disney World, then next, we got the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. This is the wildest ride in this portion of the Magic Kingdom, and it's amazing thrills and chills. What I mean by chills is that it is a half roller coaster, half dark ride. And the carts tilt in the dark ride section, which is really nice, and it gets really fast in the roller coaster section. But the ride could benefit from use of more roller coaster than dark ride, like maybe ride quickly through where the dwarves are mining, see them pass by. But otherwise, this is another one that is near perfect. Now, this next one is going to be a bit of an unpopular opinion. The Tomorrowland Speedway is the next one I went on, and this one is a freaking racetrack, yo! And it's a bit loud and a little bit bumpy if you don't really control the cart that much, and it does kind of smell of diesel oil a little bit, but that's like right where I thrive in terms of like racing and whatnot. I really, really, really enjoyed this. And yeah, I know I kind of have bias in that a lot of people really kind of hate this ride from an objective standpoint, but this is my video, and I'm going to rank it as I see fit, so I'm just going to put this up there. And now we get to another Disney classic, the Space Mountain. Now, I did not actually go on the normal version, I went on the Halloween party version, and it was nice and fast. But the thing is, it was extremely rough, and with all the jerking and jostling being bad enough, here's the catch. There were absolutely no lights on. It was total darkness in there. And not only that, it was deafening to me. And I was kind of, I think, in the worst part of the cart. I was right in the middle between the two carts, like right where the carts intersect. So I don't really think I had as much of a good time as I should have. I'm going to have to give this one a 4 out of 10, but I really want to go back and revisit this one to hopefully bump up that rating. I bet you guys are ready for when I'm going to stop talking about the Magic Kingdom, but we've got one more ride to go on, and that is the Space Ranger Spin. This is a first-person shooter dark ride, and I teamed up with the guy I was sitting next to, and my goodness, we had a blast. This is another one of those co-op rides, where it's kind of a competition, whereas like on Test Track, one guy designs the car, and on the Millennium Falcon, you've got kind of like a difficulty of the ride. If someone messes up, it's gonna be a lot of a jostlier ride. I don't even know what I just said right there, but on Space Ranger Spin, really it's just shoot as many Z's as you can. And for someone who just came off of Space Mountain, which I actually did this right after Space Mountain in the dark, it was a breath of fresh air, literally. So I'm gonna give this one a higher ranking than I normally would have. And now we are finally in the home stretch with the Animal Kingdom, which was day 5. We're going to begin this journey with the Na'vi River journey. This is an Avatar-themed ride, which I didn't think Avatar was as beautiful as it really is. The Pandoran Night is amazing, and the building music is, too. It might be a bit creepy for youngins. And it's the best of the dark rides, besides Soarin'. So, let me tell you, it was really, really chill compared to the other one, but, well, other Avatar ride, which I will get into, but I'm going to put the rating up here because I have a lot to talk about on the next one. So next up is the Avatar Flight of Passage, and oh my god, I've got a lot to say, but the thing is, I'm pretty sure everything has already been said. The virtual reality is amazing. The 3D here really, really works. It's like a combination of Soarin', Muppet Vision 3D, and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. It's got the thrill and chills and sights, sounds, and smells of all three of those rides all bundled into one. It is my second favorite ride in the entire park, and just a hair away from Test Track, because I'm that much of a NASCAR fan. The next few rides were also really good as well, or rather, experiences. And by experience, I mean festival, because next up is the Lion King Festival. Absolutely everything is awesome here. I love the medley of songs. The performances are awesome. The animatronics are spot on, and so is the voice acting. There are zero cons besides you might not make it to the show because it's that popular. And really, when that's the only con, there really aren't any at all. But the next one is also great, the Kilimanjaro Safari. Live animals, beautiful scenery, legitimately great roads, and I mean, it is bumpy, but still, there are so many beautiful birds and animals out there. And there was actually a bit of a mishap when I went on it. One of the trucks broke down, and we were stuck for 20 extra minutes. And meanwhile, even though it was kind of warm, the little Jeep was air conditioned, so we were just sitting there, we were all talking with each other, and I mean, absolutely everyone on the cart was just talking like we all knew each other. We were just having conversations about Disney. It's really, really worth it, and I know this is kind of controversial, but it's kind of better when the ride breaks down, because then you can just marvel at everything a little bit more. Next up on the list is the Kali River Rapids, and this one is actually really, really short for a water ride. Let's just get that out of the way. The length is, or lack thereof, is awful. It needs to be longer. But the circular rafts are tons of fun to ride in. They make everything just a little bit more mysterious, like who's going to get wetter on the ride. And the drop is really nice. It's not like Splash Mountain where you literally hit 40 miles an hour in like 5 seconds. It kind of slowly speeds you up. And then just a huge wave washes over you. Oh my gosh. It's fun. And if you can, ride on it multiple times, because that's how you really experience it. Next up is Big Blue and Beyond. This is another Nemo-themed attraction, but unlike the other Nemo-themed attraction I went to, this one has tons of charm to it. Absolutely everything about the show it just felt a lot more carefully thought out. It felt like everything was just a little bit more thought through. It didn't seem like the presentation was being rushed, and it kind of had like the Indiana Jones show going for it, because it was a show, and it is a really nice show overall. Now, the next one is the Triceratops Spin. This one is in a relatively unpopular area of the park. It's the Chester and Hester Dinorama area. It kind of actually does feel like a little town carnival thing, so I'll give it that. It really kind of had that little bit of charm to it, but otherwise, the ride was just kind of there. I kind of appreciated how the ride could tilt back and forth, and you could kind of make it a little bit more rough than what it is if you don't tilt it back and forth, but at the same time, I don't see any reason for this to keep existing for much longer. And finally, the Dinosaur. This is a really, really nice ride. It really feels like you actually go back in time to try to save Megalodon from extinction, and then you just gotta kind of race against the clock to get out of there. The suspense and bumps are really, really nice, and the animatronics are spot on. So I'm going to give this one some pretty high marks, but I personally didn't really like it that much, but I can understand why a lot of people would. Well, that was every ride I queued up for at Walt Disney World. but at the time that I was there, a lot of the times I was getting really hungry and thirsty. But that's where the food and drink comes in, and I've got a few to go through, so let's get on with this, because when you're going to Disney World, the food is the other half of the experience with the rides. So, jumping back to Hollywood, the restaurant I ate at there was the Docking Bay 7, and let me tell you, the selection there is amazing. They've got, like, fried chicken, they've got chicken salads, they've got sushi, specifically sashimi. I got their Andoyan roasted chicken salad, and the flavors that are in the salad should not mix. Like, tomatoes and radishes should not go well with yogurt and grapes, but somehow it works perfectly. It's really worth it if you are in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and getting a little bit hungry. I'm going to rate this one highly. The other place that I ate at was Olga's Cantina. This one is more of a bar, and there are a few snacks such as charcuterie boards, but what I got was Olga's Obsession, which is a candy dish, and the candy all mixes together, and it's a great little sugar boost. It's like Pop Rocks mixed with Jell-O. It's like the perfect fine line between a family-friendly restaurant and a bar for the adults. It's really worth it if you want a quick little sugar boost to get this. But neither of those provide Tatooine blue and green milk, and that's the milk stand that provides that. I actually managed to be able to try both the blue and green milk, and let me tell you, it's awesome. It's not exactly like how you see it in Star Wars. It's more of a slushy, but the blue milk has more of a coconut flavor, where the green milk has more of a sharp lime flavor, and they are both great. I cannot rank either of them higher than the other. I'm just going to go ahead and put this up here because I really, really liked it. Alright, we are now in Epcot, and what I first tried here was kind of something that you'll see all over Disney World. It was Joffrey's Coffee. And they've got so many snack and kiosk places all over Disney World. And I got their pumpkin iced coffee because this was October and I really, really like pumpkin flavored coffee. And my opinion is, even though I absolutely love Starbucks, I would go back to Joffrey's if I could, just because the coffee is that great. However, that's just a little drink. But the thing is, the Coral Reef restaurant is the first restaurant on the list. I actually ate this for dinner the night I was at Epcot, and I got their mali, which is a kind of fish. And the meat was really, really tender as well as flavorful and juicy. They've got really, really nice selection, and the service is amazing. If you have a food allergy, let your waiter know, and they will be able to hook you up with something that you'll be able to eat. And if you're a little kid and you're acting well, they might give your little kid an extra dessert just for free. The service there is awesome. It is totally worth it to be able to go there for dinner. Alright, one more restaurant before we head on to the next one. Tutto Italia. This is in the World Showcase area. There's not many rides here, but it's mainly the shopping and the food that is the technical draw of the area. And believe it or not, if you're actually in that area, you are literally traveling the world, because technically the countries around the world own those little locations. You can visit them without having a passport. So technically I went all the way over the world to Italy for this one. This is a pasta restaurant, and I got their gnocchi with red sauce and Parmesan cheese, or ricotta, I can't remember which one it was, and it was amazing. As a pasta lover, this was some of the best ever, and it's air conditioned too, so if it's really, really hot, it's really, really good idea to be able to go in there and just sit for a little while you wait on your food. Wow, we're absolutely blazing through this. We're already in the Magic Kingdom. And first up is Casey's Corner. This is traditional American ballpark food. I got their chili cheese fries. The heat from the chili is just barely there, but the flavor from the cheese and chili mixes perfectly with the fries. I've never actually had chili cheese fries apart from Sonic, and I thought that Sonic was going to actually ruin the experience, but Casey's Corner is a perfect place to get sports food without having to actually go to a venue. Next up is the Aloha Aisle, and this is mainly just a little kiosk, but the thing is that they have Dole Whips there. And let me tell you, Dole Whips are like the ice cream of Disney World. I don't remember exactly what the Dole Whip I got was, but I know it had vanilla and orange in it, and it was so good. And look, if you're in Disney World, there is no excuse to not try a Dole Whip. Next up is the Liberty Square Market. This is more of a snack vending location, but there is actually 2 different restaurants nearby where you can go and eat. And they've got snacks for all, including the famous turkey legs, which I got one, as well as a dill pickle because my muscles were sore. Don't ask me why I think pickles help me with muscles, but the meat is so juicy and flavorful, and if you're careful enough, these turkey legs can last a meal or they can last a day. They were big enough that I thought that I would need to carry them with both hands. And finally, we are back in the Animal Kingdom. First up is Pongu Pongu, and this is a restaurant in the Pandora area. So, again, this is going to be amazing selection. It's like the Star Wars and Dorian Roasted Chicken Salad restaurant place, Dock and Bay 7. It's like that, but with a little bit more exotic foods. I got a roasted beef salad. The salad base itself was really good, but the meat was really, really tough, and I didn't really care for the flavor. And on one hand, the vegetables were awesome, and on the other hand, the actual protein and substance of the salad, it just didn't hit right with me. And I'm only going to touch quickly on this next one. It was Trilobites, and this was more Dole Whips, so the same rating goes. So if you want to see it again, I'll just put this up here. But Dole Whips here, I feel like they're slightly larger, and they're better with a friend. Now, as you can see, I'm focused back on the Old Key West Resort because I actually ate at the restaurant in the Hospitality House area. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I do remember that I got some form of nachos, and my gosh, they were good. But technically, since it is not in a Disney park, this is an honorable mention. Now, I actually did take some photos and videos from Disney World, so these are all from the night that I went to the Magic Kingdom for the Halloween party. So keep in mind that these are all around the same time, but the thing is, they are all so awesome. So let's just cut right into it.
I want you to sit down and relax.
Why, Todd? Why?
This is how I talk.
Yeah, right
eyes. He looks so not amused. Where's mine? Okay, so I want you to come sit down. I just look at all You're supposed to be like this. This is the day you almost like that. Does anybody have any rope tickets? No.
No, but you can come back from
Villain Spelltacular. In order for you to fully experience tonight's presentation, the lighting around Cinderella Castle will be reduced. For your own safety and the safety of others, we ask that you remain in the same location until the lighting returns to normal. The clock will strike the witching hour in just a few minutes.
Hey guys, SilverThunder710 here again, and this time it is Monday evening, and that means it is time for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I'm currently waiting by the hot dog place, which I don't remember what it is. I think it's Casey's, but I am at a great vantage point to watch the Hocus Pocus show, which you just saw the beginning clip of, which is, well, I don't know how to describe it. It's just kind of the disclaimer. It's happening soon, and yeah, I know I am horribly backlit, but hey, helps the vibe. And I'm gonna have some fun tonight.
Gather round and prepare thyselves. Something magical shall happen here tonight in but a few minutes. Good evening, friends. Tonight, all Hallows Eve.
Ryder, move, yeah. Moving them along.
One night. The night filled with a little trick. Little treat. Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus is one of my favorite movies. I completely expected there to be fireworks right there. Crap, not this song! They are currently doing that one song that literally just completely freaks me out.
This party started. We need a fit.
They are making whatever.
A tip of the hat of the one and only Dr. Festier, also known as the Shadow Man.
I just missed a mini firework thing.
The cards.
Man, the crowds are really getting into it. Holy smoly! Just began the fireworks show. It's almost over. Wow, that's right above me. Like so many searchlights in the smoke. Holy moly! Literally all right above me now. Because we're so close to it. Oh, there goes one. I'm actually not in vicinity of the castle, so I can only hear what is going on. Right now, some kind of dog's gotten out of Jack's skeleton. I mean, look at all the... Oh, never mind. More fireworks. Holy... This is a perfect angle. Look over here in the smoke, if you can see it just faintly. There's lots of searchlights. It's all around me now. I literally cannot film it all at once. I'm so sorry that I'm not able to capture it all, guys. But you can see it faintly in there. Searchlights. Now Mickey Mouse is joining them. What the heck is going on? Holy... So much action! I'm loving every second of this. It's still going? What is going on? There's so much happening at once. This is like an overload. This is the craziest fireworks show I've ever seen. Yeah, just long period fireworks. Like every single Disney character is joining in. Oh! There they go, literally right above me. I may get some debris raining down on me here. This is incredible. You can see searchlights in the smoke for sure. Whoa, what the heck are those? Those had a real punch to them. Here they go, like over the speedway. There's a dizzying come out of that. Oh my god! Fireworks fired up from 3 locations! Alright, a brick. Talking about some kind of familiar presence. What the? He just literally fired up everywhere. Look at these. Look at these. Look at how long they're lasting. More searchlights. Well, guys, we did it together. I'd like to thank my family and friends for making that trip possible. I'd like to thank Southwest Airlines for flying us there and back, and I'd like to thank the Disney World employees for letting us have such a wonderful time. Now, if you don't mind, I gotta get some well-deserved rest. SilverThunder710, and I'll see you guys next time.